Hello and welcome to another episode of Slow Pit Stop. This is part of our Can't Watch, Won't Watch series where one of us can't watch Drive to Survive and the other one is refusing to. So if you're in a position like me where you've not had a chance to watch it yet but want to be able to fake it in conversations that you know what's been happening, this is the perfect place for you because I've put together a great group of people to summarize the episodes for us and let us know what we're missing out on. Today, I'm joined by Anna, a journalist from Chicago and host of the Racing Incident podcast, which you can follow on Twitter at racing_incident. Anna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Ready to do this?
Thank you very much. So, you're going to be telling us all about episode 5 today. Let's get right into it. What's the episode called and what's it about?
Yeah, so the episode is called Staying Alive. And as we were just discussing before we
Yeah.
started recording, the reason it's called, so this is the Monza episode, for starters. So this is, technically the second episode of the series about Danny Ricciardo. I like Danny Ricciardo, but I don't know if he should have had 2 whole episodes out of a 10 episode season, which was insane and had a lot going on. But I digress. It's called Staying Alive because,
Yeah.
of course, it's alluding to his season was going so poorly. And that was what the second episode, I think, is about. It's the second episode is Danny Ricciardo misery porn. That one's, yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And so this one is called Staying Alive because, of course, he won first in Monza and Lando was second. For
Yeah.
McLaren won 2. It was wonderful. Everyone loved it, I think, whether you're a McLaren fan or
Yeah,
not.
I
It was like,
really enjoyed it.
yeah.
I thought it was a great race.
Yeah, it was fun because it was nice. It was nice to see, unless you hate Danny Ricciardo. It was nice to see him, come back and get a win, and to do well, even though then he didn't sustain that for the rest of the season. But this is Drive to Survive,
Yeah.
where the whole season is 10 episodes only. So this is all you know if
Yeah.
you've only seen these episodes. So yeah, but also apparently, I assume it's partially a joke or whatever, but it's also, I guess, partially called Staying Alive because in the beginning of the episode, it's somewhere towards the beginning of the episode,
Yeah.
Danny's getting into the car at Monza. I don't know if this was for free practice, for qualifying for the race, because this is Drive to Survive. They don't tell you any of that.
Yeah.
But he's getting in the car. Although I must say they did, at least on this episode, they did mention the sprint race.
Oh,
They
okay.
did not mention it on the Silverstone episode.
Fair enough. Just glossed over it entirely.
That was a key element of
No, I don't need to know about it.
not important. Not
No.
important. But they did mention it here because they showed that how here they actually you could say this was the sprint races episode.
Yeah.
The sprint race starred in this episode because of, if people remember, that was how Danny ended up on the first row for the race, because I didn't even remember all the stuff that happened, to be honest. So it was kind of nice to see the recap.
Do you think
But
we learned anything new in this episode?
so you're saying for someone who's been watching the season,
Yeah.
and who, yes, there is something very, very important that you can learn in this episode. And there are actually several things. One, Zach Brown plays hockey.
Oh,
Apparently,
I did not know that.
there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Zach Brown. Well, you may know this one. Zach Brown swears a lot.
I didn't know that either. I knew
Yeah,
that about Gunther, but not Zach.
yeah. That's right. He's not Gunther level, of
Yeah.
course, but he swore a lot in this episode because this was an exciting weekend for the team, obviously. So, but he swore a lot even before that. So yeah, there's a lot of Zach swearing. I think that something else that was interesting is that Danny very clearly, or at least the way they made it look, again, who knows, things are really the way they are, but the way they made it look, you could tell that Danny really has been affected by this. Like you could tell that also in the misery porn episode 2, but in this one, like there's this cute moment when after the is it after the sprint race? I actually took notes. Oh yeah, it was after the sprint race. You know, when Danny had like moved up positions, right? And you see him talking to Andreas Seidel, and he's like,
Mm.
"That was good," or "That was good," like that was more like what you signed up for, kind of like that sort of thing. You
Yeah.
know, where he's like seeking validation from him, like, "I did
Yeah.
good. Give me a pat on the back." You know. I'm
That's
starting on
good.
the front row, you know.
Amazing.
And it was so yeah, I thought that was kind of cute. Like I felt actually sorry for him. I
Mm.
felt sorry for the struggles he's gone through. Um
For
um
people that maybe struggled with how last year finished and have not felt like watching old material, would you
mhm.
recommend this episode for them?
Yeah, I would, because this is a feel good. Yeah,
Mm.
this is definitely a feel good episode that you can,
Good.
again, unless you particularly hate Danny, Orlando, or McLaren, then it's not a feel good, of course.
Mm.
But if you don't, as I don't, I like them overall. I tend to like the team, and I like the drivers okay. Like they're not necessarily my favorites, but I like them, and I'm happy if they do well. So if you feel any of those things, then yeah, it's a feel good for sure, because it was so wonderful.
Perfect.
It was such a great result. I will say, as also a Lewis and Mercedes fan, it was definitely a little bit. They did show the crash.
Mm.
Of course, they had to show the crash. That's part
Yeah.
of the story of the McLaren one too. Even though if they'll say they got it on merit, and they did, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
who knows what would have happened if
Yeah.
Lewis and Max hadn't crashed. They showed it, but it was like a non-event, because it was all about McLaren. So I definitely was a little bit
Wow.
like, oh,
Okay. Good. At least
but
they didn't dwell on it too much.
no, there was nothing. It was just like they crashed. Then you hear Danny's engineer come on the radio to tell him that Hamilton and Max crashed out, and he's like, okay, and then that's it. And then
Wow.
they move on, and
Move
which
on.
is yeah, it's fine. The
Not
episode's
what
not
we'll be
about
able to
that.
do, but at least Danny Rick could.
I mean, they also show, if people don't know about this, people probably do know about this if they're like close watchers and everything. But Danny made Zach get a tattoo.
Yes. I saw
After
some
so
screenshots of
they do
this.
show that.
Amazing.
They show that, and poor Zach. They ask him if he's gonna get a tattoo for Lando's first win, and he's like, "No, I think I'll do something else for that," because Lando like wouldn't
Orlando.
ask him to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much for updating us on episode 5. I think it's one that I definitely want to check out. Everyone, make sure you have a listen to the Racing Incident podcast and give our friends there a like and a follow. And we'll be seeing you soon.
I hope so.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Bye.